we in the building? Who says we ain't in the building? We the morning mathematics, architect, pretty children, rapper Friday, Thursdays like Jason, without the killing. But we promote life, it's all about the feeling. We invoke life, freedom life here. So you might see him on the block getting his pocket. Might see him talking the cops, giving them caution. Occasionally wearing his vest when he's walking. Either turning head, whispering gossip. But he's locked in, and he's zoned out while we locked in our own house. Study the business, the Adams, the Magi, wisdom of the ancients, and all count the fire. Possible mission, fundamental knowledge, extract the substance with minds of darkness. Use the force, don't care what's up before. As we know about this old man knows God. Many live on the floor, so God, God. Placed in the devil's hands, rule in the seven lands. You dogma rituals, needful spirituals. Brainwash subliminal, keep thinking so amenable. They're still criminal, in a world digital so pitiful. Mental survival so critical, it's visible. Can you see that life is wrong? Hashtag zombies were getting from time of song. Police for cell phones, they keep you so far. It's nothing for alarm, chips and for arm. When grand debate, such a beautiful serenade. Women feeding me grapes, I'm feeding the inmarinate. Whether the night fair or great, great when you're a fake, the life you speak, speaking to who not here today. So you refuse to really play, you know, filthy holes like bouncing every day. Sun walking desert, this bar, the shit that found God look back, used to kiss friends. Forget being a prince, I'm a G. Only go, man, no joke, the life you don't know me. Don't make me happy, you don't owe me. It's like a couple hundred years. Walk around town with a couple hundred years. I release the peace of tough fears. The sun won't shine for what fears. This young brother here just trying to get his third eye clear. More don't the best thing, mind your nuts. Real life rap, spitting over trash, conscious thinking, living in this cat. More don't the best thing, mind your nuts. Real life rap, spitting over trash, conscious thinking, living in this cat. Like the moon sex, the sun takes the tight, goes on block, right spot, still sick. Real rap, oh God, fire stain, the cold souls, the level faces. Game changers, full benders, and no pretenders. Islanders, I know my vibe through the vibrant optic centers. Get that message to our veterans. So just up and get it in. We on our birds, we on birds, so let no being. Third eye seeing, cause I participate on winning. They wanna break me, shit fake make me. Running with my name, G, double OMG. When it's crazy, for a minute that you think you can take me for a fool like a nigga who is lesbian. Pulled by the foreign dude. You can stay with me, fight on the road in the dark. You can stay in me, you better move or I'm out here. I will finish my time, your resistance to target. We're feeling all life and you see on the market. Genocide, terror, and crosses like market. Down, bulldozer, niggas who got like it to exposure. Some big heads in the niggas getting closer. Figure down far around the fucking soldiers. Little homie, I was seeking a fortune, tired of misfortune. I just wanted a fortune, everything that I never had, so I needed my fortune. Blowing like porcelain, hated fabulous porcelain. Getting broke, tired of being broke. I was just trying to hope to keep it just to keep us afloat. Might as deep as the boat, greatest to leave a weapon before I need to know. When I pick up a phone, walk in the room with my aura feeling like heavy smoke. Feel like when the night broke under my nose, feeling they let me post. The dirty captain, catch the boy, yeah, it's joke. The competition, higher profit, the price pushing. These little girls, sunny vibes, just to take the pushing. These little niggas, sunny niggas, just to fill position. It's like this thing you never had to put in the mission. I want to see the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me, let me one plan. I want to see the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me, one plan. All right, peace, fam. Islam, peace and love, Morris. I am Ms. Rain, my left L, pardon, it was a little technical difficulty there for a second, but I am Mizraim Aleph El. You are tuned in to MHHS Sons of Allah for January 2023 Gregorian calendar, along with my brethren, co-host Noble Cujo, Abo El. Peace, more.
Peace, more.
Are we good?
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good.
Hold on. Unmuted. Hold on. Peace. All right. Bet. Can you hear me more?
Peace, more. What's good?
All right. Cool.
We're here. We're here.
That's what's really good, bro. All right. So yeah, pardon. I was trying to throw some more spins on, but there was a technical difficulty on that level. But nonetheless, man, we here. First one for the 2023 Gregorian time block. And man, it's a beautiful thing. Now, I gotta ask, because you on the move right now, bro. I know you got it on the screen. First off, hold on. There's a lot to unpack here, first and foremost. First and foremost as well, congratulations. I see the regular Canaanland Moors, the first Canaanland Moors YouTube channel is back. That's what's really good.
Yeah, that's what's good.
You just got it.
Yeah, that's what's good.
Yeah, there's a whole library of content on there. So congratulations to that. Moors could get back to it. Or even more uploads. I forgot how they had it restricted, but I see, you could go live again or upload again, and that's dope, bro. Definitely. Now, I know you on your travels, you on the move, and congratulations to that. You got the lecture on the 21st. That's this Saturday in Houston, Texas, 2 p.m. French Quarter Cajun Seafood. That's so dope. But I gotta ask, being as though you're on the move and you've arrived, I know there's a lot of history with Moors in Texas, right? But to keep it simple, like upon your arrival, and I know you're relatively fresh there, but have you noticed anything Moorish off the rip, whether it be architect and design, arches, anything like? How is it? Like, you feel a Moorish vibe in the town so far, or it's too young to determine?
Well, one thing is let's start at just being here and the weather not being anything near to what we got near Canaanland. So when you could have when you could just have your sweater on only in January, that's a plus. So it's quite Moorish as far as the weather is concerned. It's quite Moorish. As far as the weather, it's definitely something good with the weather here. Even though it's not t-shirt, but sweater or long sleeve t-shirt in January is pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. The only Moorish thing I connected with so far, because it's still early. Tomorrow we're gonna do the rounds and see what's good out here. But I went to this place called this food spot. Found this food spot near the hotel called Punta Cana, and it's Dominican spot. So go up in there and everything on the menu is Spanish. And the only thing I made out was Moro y Cristiano rice and peas. So I got some of that. I got some yellow rice with peas, and that was called Moro. So far, the food's been Moorish so far. So far, the food's been Moorish. We'll see what they got to offer tomorrow, and we take a little ride around and see what's good out here.
Facts, definitely. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of Moorish things. being there with your eyes wide open, you be able to perceive whether it's arches, old buildings. I know, like in Texas, I'm not sure all the parts, but they as recent as last decade, have been uncovering Moorish or what they call Aztec temples, under towns and whatnot like that. So yeah, I'm sure it may be a vibe, and I know it's probably too young. Maybe I should ask you this after your experience. But when I think Texas, I think of good weather. I think of oil. I think of the bull skeleton head, and you know what I mean, like the tumbleweed, all of that, right? Fields and stuff like that. But knowing the history a little bit deeper than that, like knowing that Texas was once Mexico, and you just explaining the food, like you said, they Dominican and whatnot. I just want to ask you, do it feel like more of you're in a country European type of vibe or a Mexican type of vibe? Because we know that Texas was once a part of Mexico, or really is Mexico or whatnot. Like the vibe, is it more of, for lack of a better term, like redneck European beer drinking, you know what I'm saying, vibe, or is it more of, hold on, there's something here? Like what you feel like so far, or you can't really make it out yet?
Well, it's funny you say that too. From the airport to now, I think I seen probably 20% Europeans, 80% Asiatics. That was a little shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking like you're thinking, the Cowboys and all that stuff. Yeah. So, and even at the Dominican spot, it was some dark skin Spanish over there, which was a when Chet said what's up to people in the kitchen and all that, and everybody back there was dark skin. Dominican's dark skin, but being that it's Texas, I would have thought more Spaniard looking Spanish people than dark skin. But yeah, I think about everybody I talked to at the airport, as far as majority of the staff that were working, there was Asiatics that I seen. Yeah, I haven't seen too much Europeans. Now that I'm thinking about it now, I haven't seen too many Europeans, which is good too. Nothing's wrong with seeing them, but seeing your people is always better.
Yeah, because the way they promote it is like, or how they give it to us on TV, whatnot. It's kind of like that vibe. Grilling and, redneck. We know we everywhere. That's a fact. You know what I mean? I recall a while ago, NAE was sharing something in the congressional records about Texas that explicitly mentioned Moors as far as the land. And I apologize, I can't give the direct reference of the book, chapter, and verse, but it was definitely something mentioned in the congressional records about the land relative to Moors. And, maybe she can add that on at a later time or whatnot. But yeah, we know that all of the history, all Moorish history is connected to America as well. So that's why I was asking you, have you seen anything that made you feel like, yo, this is a Moorish vibe? This is not that, you know what I mean? There's difference in the climate and nature and everything as far as like rattlesnakes, everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I asked you off the rip if any of those things stood out to you,
Yeah.
wait to hear, your recap. You know what I mean? I know you're going to take pictures if you do see anything. If you may have forgot of doing that, I'm asking you, please, you know what I mean? Take some pictures.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Hit us with a recap, you know what I'm saying? Or Canaanland Moors, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're going to see something that you're going to be like, yo, that's crazy Moors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean it hasn't failed anywhere else we went. So I'm not
Exactly.
I'm holding my breath because I know something's going on. Something's going on. I mean, even with the thing with the restaurant, the Moros de Cristianos meal, that caught me off guard because I was just trying to find somewhere to eat at. I didn't even think about them having that on the menu. Like it didn't even register in the brain that I might see that because I'm this close to or I'm in Mexico,
Really?
So that was a good jolt. You know what I mean? Just knowing that, oh, there it is. There's more right there on the damn menu. So that was good. That was good to see. But yeah, we'll definitely have something on the recap. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we'll see something out here that's gonna get our attention relative to that Moorish connection out here. I yield.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I wanted to add on too. You mentioned something about Cowboys and even how they market and present that to us. It's like Europeans on, cowback and all of this, but the truth of the matter and the matter of fact really is that Moors were the original or are the original cowboys. Like we was doing that. We was into that. And again, it might be a regional cultural thing, but nonetheless, that is the fact that that's not a foreign culture to us. Though they make it seem like that. That's not something we was into. We definitely were. And there's a lot of facts out there about that as well. So yeah, I mean, the way that mentally they socially distance us from that stuff, knowing the history, it'll have us a little bit more open and receptive to what was going on in different regions at different times, and maybe even still to this day, and so just to keep an eye out for that, and as a fellow Taurian brethren, you know what I'm saying? I know they use the bull's head, that's like an emblem.
Yeah.
Texas and whatnot.
Right.
Saying that's culturally something they use. I don't know how deep it goes as far as what they're saying astrologically, cosmologically, but it is something to consider when we're talking about also Moorish culture out there. Like, what's up with the bull? What's up with Taurus? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, on a as above level, that obviously means something on the so below level. And another thing I think about when it comes to that area in the Gulf Coast is when they say gas prices is rising and all of that, like the whole Gulf Coast and whatnot, there's a lot of oil in that soil. Those are oil-rich territories. Like there's really people, we don't have to get, and I don't want to say we're the same ones doing the same trade, but oil, gas, all of that, it doesn't really have to be imported to the continent that we're at, North, South, Central America. It's right here already. So even when they hit us with the rising gas prices, and they say they're going to war in Iraq for the oil, all of that stuff is already right here. You know what I'm saying? From the Gulf Coast, even up into Canaanland. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because they have on an international level, people come from all over the world to drill. Even if they don't drill on the land, like even on the continental slopes, they can extract oil, which isn't a great idea. Because remember, a few years ago, it might be over 10 now. Yeah, I think it's well over 10 years now. That oil spill that happened on the Gulf Coast, off the Gulf Coast, by BP. You know what I mean? And BP is British Petroleum.
Mm.
And it was a massive oil spill to the fact where, because oil and water don't mix. So the ocean, they had to burn the oil at the top of the ocean. It looked like the ocean was on fire. You could probably still pull the YouTube clips up and whatnot, anybody listening on your own spare time. But it's a real thing. British Petroleum, which again, Britain is not here in America. But, however, there's interest in the resources that are here in America. That is big business, right? Like, very big business. And even in them endeavoring to do that, drilling on the continental slope or shelf or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
It was a reaction they wasn't prepared for. You know what I mean? Like, it was literally an oil spill. And I thought that's when I knew we was in a different era of time for sure, because what they had to do to clean the oil up was set it on fire. So the Atlantic Ocean was literally on fire. Or the Gulf Coast or whatnot. Mm. That ocean was on fire because of that oil spill. And I was like, damn, that was around the time of like Katrina and all of that. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, there's something about that region, man, and I just trust, y'all gonna catch the vibe or the vibe. You're already on it. You said the first thing you got to eat was Moros and Chris Jonas, whatever that was.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Something with Moros and Chris.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's a big deal too, because knowing that Texas was or is Mexico, or for pseudo-politics and geography, what they call Texas today was a part of Mexico. But in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between Morocco and the United States, it mentions something about being paid in Mexican dollars. And that right there should definitely, lead us to the connection between Moors and Mexicans. Mm-hmm. And, not just the part of Mexico that they show today. Like, it's more to it than that. But, knowing the history, that'll definitely open our minds up to, more than what they're showing us today. I recall a few years ago as well, and I trust this is still on the RV Bay Publications website, where Absolute Vodka had a commercial, and they showed the map of, you remember that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mexico, what they call Mexico, and United States of America, and how big Mexico was, and the spin on it was in an absolute world. So there was an Absolute Vodka commercial saying that in an absolute world, this is what it is. Mexico is more than what they showing today. And that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't crazy, excuse me. It was revealing. It was another milestone in the signs of the times that we are now in, right? Or were in even then. So, like, these big businesses, they already know what time it is. Vodka, however many multi-million, billion-dollar, they make or whatever. All these people, all these big corporations know that. It's about the resources. And just, for them to even be promoting, the true history, that was like, damn, everybody is on it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when that first hit. I'm like, oh, okay, everybody's on it. Like, most people are on it. Like, this is being promoted to everybody. So, yeah, man.
Well, part of going back to the Absolute Vodka thing, there was also the ban, the ad ban, because they had banned the ad in U.S because that's not the true map and all this type of stuff when they dropped the ad. So they had it. I think it was. I think it was. Um, I think it was based on something to do with the war, the war between U.S. and Mexico, which made them pull the ad because once you once they put the ad up, then it revealed um, I think Cali, Utah, Arizona, and some next spots were also in that jurisdiction. Yeah, we're also in that jurisdiction of Mexico, and they were saying how something to the effect of um, the Mexicans remaining the Mexicans having some type of sensitivity toward losing the war, so they didn't want to, you know, rub salt in the wound or whatever like that. You know, when we already know they're doing that. They're doing that to hide the stuff. You know, they're doing that to hide the stuff. They don't want that info. They don't want that info out. Because if that info gets out, I mean, not if that info got out and they pulled that ad so fast, people probably didn't even realize what was going on. You know.
Yeah, that's a fact. They did pull it real fast, and you're right. They did ban the ad. They banned the ad for the corporate United States, though. I do believe they kept it going in Mexico area. Yeah. I don't think the Mexicans were offended by it at all.
Oh, not at all.
It was like, okay, yeah, now they tell you the truth.
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like that, and we could look at that map and see clearly, like, all right, so, pardon me, excuse me, what they call Mexico, all of it is a play on what they have on the map now. All of it is a play off of what we call the land. You know, America being Al Morocco, Mexico being the Mexim, Alaska being Al Aqsa or Maghreb Al Aqsa. It literally is the furthest northwest you can go in North America, right? So, and pardon me, not to get off Texas, but it's just funny how they'll say Alaska is a part of the United States. Skip over all the rest of Canaanland, but just that northwest corner. Yep. You know what I mean? They'll say, oh, that's the United States. And you got some of our people here who are acting like, it's a foreign concept. That Canaanland and in America are the same place. Like, man, we got a lot of geography to get into, bro. Right. Like, it's almost sad. Like, even those who are selling, people say, oh, the alcohol, that's the poison. Even they know this, right? And they're telling you if you're even in that state. So, I mean, it's just a lot, bro. But definitely there's a lot to look at when it comes to this geography. I know that even when it comes down to the whole Juneteenth thing, like Texas was the last state to get notified. Like they was the last ones to know they've been quote unquote free for over a year, over 2 years or something like that. So I mean, it's levels to the history out there. I definitely want to dive deeper into it, but I know you're going to catch something while you out there.
Yeah.
I know you got eyes wide open, so pay attention to the plaques. You know, the plaques people walk past because they feel like I ain't reading that or don't got time to read, man. Even if you don't got time to read it, take a picture of it, read it later. Yeah. You know what I mean? And make something where, you know what? Damn, that's dope. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you never know. I mean, and it's so many places like that. Like they tell the truth right in front of our face, and we just walk past it all the time. Like in Atlantic City, there's a outdoor shopping area called the Walk, and there's a plaque there on Atlantic Ave in the intersection of Michigan, and it tells you, the history. And that same place that is now the Wharf used to be a plantation. And you know what I mean? Like, if you don't take a moment just to check those small details out, you know what I mean? You might miss a whole jewel of history. And then we be saying they don't tell us the truth, but it's in our face, literally, is the point I'm trying to make. So, yeah, while you're there, if you see things like that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Capture that, bro. Capture that.
Definitely.
Because I'm sure there's going to be many jewels in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit, even take a picture of the menu of the restaurant you was at with the Moros Cristo
Yeah.
thing, like all that. Document that.
For real.
Yeah, for the thought. Yeah.
real.
We need the documentary, bro. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Right.
You gonna come back with a documentary, bro.
You already know,
You know what
it's
I'm
eyes
saying?
wide open. You already know.
Yeah. Facts. So yeah, man. Yeah, big acknowledgement to out there. And it's funny too because I met some Europeans from Texas while they was up this way, and they were saying like, Texas doesn't have state taxes. There's no state taxes out there. And I find that part interesting too. I thought it was just quote unquote so-called Delaware. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely something with that as well, because I know they were rebelling against the Union or resisting it. I know there's levels to that history as well. But for them to end up present day with no state taxes, I see why like a lot of rich people move out there because they're trying to keep their dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like they like shit. That's an extra 6 digits or 7 digits a year they would have to pay living somewhere else, but being out there to get to pocket that. So it's definitely stratagems to how people are moving and staying wealthy, or not, I don't even want to say wealthy, but keeping their pecuniary wages as much as possible.
Right.
Things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like it's levels to it. It's reasons why. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, more like, sure, whatever you come across or reveal or is revealed to you, man.
Yeah, because I remember before even checking out, getting out here, I was doing some research on just what to look for out here, and there was it seems like the idea of, because I remember I saw Alhambra Theater in El Paso or something. I was just looking up the Moorish/Spanish revival architecture, and there was a few places like San Antonio had some things, and El Paso had some things, but it was the same. It's just that same Moorish theme that it qualifies. That we're connected everywhere. I mean, even places like here where we wouldn't even think we have any connection to this spot. I think there was a place called Ab something, Abilene, Texas, or something like that. They had some theater out there. The Alhambra Theater was 1914, right around Drew Ali's time. So there's definitely a connection. And then when you check the Alhambra Theater, same thing you're talking about, all these arches in this building. And you already know, once you see those arches, that's us. But yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yeah.
Yeah, the arches is signature more. You know what I mean? It's signature Moorish history. Like that's how Moors made their mark, saying we was here without saying, you know, we was here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but saying we was here, if that made, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you see stuff like that, man, document that, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean. And also on that, on those old maps showing Mexico, how it came up into much of the mainland of what they call today the United States, Nevada, you know, Utah, all of that. You know, that stretched up into Canaanland too.
Yeah.
That dominion stretched up into Canaanland as well, parts of it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, proper. Yeah, it should be live, yo. After tomorrow, we'll have a little bit more to update after tomorrow.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Take your time. Now for those of us who may not be able to be there, is it going to be live stream? How can we tune in? Like,
yeah, once I think they got Wi-Fi at the spot where we're going to. So yeah, we should be right here Saturday, 2 p.m. We might be on a little earlier, but right here, Canaanland Moors, and you could tune in to the lecture on Saturday, 2 p.m. right here, Canaanland Moors, original YouTube.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, if there's no Wi-Fi, if there's issues, you already know the camera's on deck. So, regardless, you're gonna get it somehow. Somehow, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, if we can't catch it 2 p.m. and we know that on the East Coast the time zone is different. So 2 p.m. our time would be what, like 12 p.m. 1 p.m. Texas time?
No, 1 hour.
What
So
they
2 p.m. here, 3 p.m.
No.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, bet. Cool.
Yeah. Actually,
so 3 p.m. Saturday.
Yeah, that's a funny one too, because I wasn't even considering the time change. I was about to be getting up right now to get ready for Sons of Allah. I would have been an hour late.
Oh, word.
Yeah, because I forgot I'm looking at the phone. The phone's telling me the time out here, and I got caught up. And I forgot I was an hour behind right now. I forgot I was an hour behind.
Word.
Yeah.
What they call that, jet lag or something? Real talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, more. I know that's probably an adjustment too as well. Just that extra hour make a difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. Cause I came in early and all that, so it wasn't too crazy. You know.
Right. No doubt about it. So yeah, definitely we look forward to catching it live and or, you know, post after you edit it or whatever needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? I definitely look forward to catching it live if you're gonna live stream it. And man, when you come to the east side though, definitely put us up on the dates of what, so we can line something and make sure we in the building, or make it easier to make something all happen at the same time or close to the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, LTPFJ, Love, Truth, Peace, Freedom, and Justice lecture tour. Oh man, this is great because I remember you going to Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. We coming out there, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I love it, you know what I mean? Starting off the year like that. I know Texas is a distance away, and it's relatively early in the Gregorian calendar year, but I'm sure we're going to look at some of the events that you are going to do, throughout the region. So, for sure, bro, definitely. I know you're going to hold it down. I trust everything be well, and we look forward to that. Also, I want to say, the venue itself, like, I mean, I'm asking you, have you noticed anything Moorish yet? Like, right off the rip. But I see the venue itself, the French Quarter Cajun Seafood. Already, I know that that's Moorish. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything dealing with the French usually has a Moorish connection somewhere in it, right? Like, yeah, definitely. Whether it be, in New Orleans, we know the history of the Moors and the French. Salute to J.A. Rogers, Section Race, Volume 1 through 3. Nature knows no color line. Things of that nature. All the Moors in the Gulf Coast region and whatnot. But whenever they talk about the quarter, whether it be in the Tropicana Casino, the French Quarter, whatever it is, we know it's a Moorish connection to all of that. And it shows in the architecture, however that may be, you know what I'm saying? We know that that's Moorish as well. So just off the rip, I never been to that venue you're going to be at, but I will say that, pay attention even to that. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's not a coincidence. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So, more definitely gonna do the thing and trust to see, like, what your experience was like, but more so the essence of the lessons themselves. I know we're gonna be able to catch that at one point or another, and I trust everything be well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and again too, like that's also it's also a call with wherever Moors are at. You know what I mean? Keep your eyes open where you're at. And when you see those things where you're at, we know Moors always got their eyes on deck looking for things Moorish, but more so for the individuals who might be just coming in thinking that, the Moorish paradigm is just study books only, you know what I mean? Reading only. You got to read these 20 books. You go to 20 cities or whatever. I bet you find some more stuff there too that you probably wouldn't even find in any books, And then we have to become the ones documenting these things so that it could be known. So wherever you're at, make sure you got eyes wide open and take notice of what's going on as far as, architecture, street signs, the menus, whatever. The Moorish paradigm is alive and well at the moment. There might be a thought that, they stopped something or they slowed something down or they destabilized something, but with eyes wide open, you realize the Moorish paradigm is alive and well. And what they claim to get rid of, all they did was just cover it over. It's still right there. It's still right there.
Right there, bro. And that's the emphasis on eyes wide open. You know what I mean? That's what we say. Because you are the book in the sense. You know what I mean? You are the librarian. You are, the observer. You are the, teacher based off of experience. Because at this point, it's about showing and proving. And you know what I mean? Like we, you know what I mean? So when we're out and about in the world, we always got our eyes peeled, looking for these telltale signs, or even if we're not looking for them, we can't ignore them when we see them because we already know. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's funny. Like now when I'm in the world, and I see buildings with arches and all of that, I'm like, this is a Moorish history book. You know that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Architecture is the second oldest science, or the top two oldest sciences on the planet that humans observe is astronomy and architecture. Those are the two oldest. So if we can look at, I mean, outside of the realm of biology, of course, right? Because, of course, you know, science of the human body, right? This comes first before we actually externally build. Mm-hmm. Yes, but I'm saying as far as the exhibition to humanity, the exhibition to community, the exhibition to society, two of the oldest sciences on the planet, architecture and astronomy. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm in the world and I'm in different cities, I'm looking at the architecture because that's the book. That's the tale of the city. Yeah. You know what I mean? And in certain cities, the architecture is different. Like there's modernly developed cities where you see certain buildings that's casinos, whatnot, and the architecture is straight up and it's just steel and glass. Then you go to a city like Pittsburgh, and there's skyscrapers made out of brick and stone. Yeah. And these are huge, like very tall buildings made out of brick and stone. And when you talk about some of the oldest sciences, like you have to have some sort of veneration for that. Whether it's the pyramids, whether it's a castle in Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, wherever, Philly, wherever. It's like, man, this is dope. Like, because I see skyscrapers in, you know, you see the skyline of certain cities, Philly, AC, certain places. Yes, there are tall buildings, but what they highlight today as the skylines, they're usually modern. Like, they're glass and steel. But those old buildings that's like a whole city block long to all four corners, and then straight up is, you don't even know how many feet. And you could go to the top floor and see the whole city. You know that's Moorish architecture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and we cannot let these things escape us. And so even some of the modern ones, you know, that you can't, because some buildings, they won't let you go all the way to the top for whatever reason, right? But the ones that you can go to the top, somehow, there's always a remnants of Moorish because it's a dome, there's arches up there, and you can see the whole city. And it's like, man, that's amazing. So yeah, I don't know, more like people be downplaying, quote unquote, the connection between Moors and Masonry. They say, oh, these Moors are Masonic and, you know, they're pushing the Masonic agenda. You know what? We're not on no secret society, get initiated and petition the lodge. But yes, we definitely have a veneration for that because that's our culture. Right. Why wouldn't we be into Masonry? That is our culture. Mm-hmm. Like somebody told you in a conspiracy theory YouTube video that that's something we're not supposed to know about or be in tune with, when that is a part of your culture. Masonry actually is building, like operative masonry. So yeah, I'm not, you know what I mean? In these days and times, I don't want us to overlook any part of our culture. I don't care if it's basket weaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, have a certain respect for it because it is, in essence, Moorish. I don't care if it's pottery. You know what I'm saying? If it's building, whatever it is, we gotta have a respect for it. We don't have to be into it. We don't have to do it. But as a nation, we should know, you know, these things that correlate back to our ancient origins that, you know, our foremothers and forefathers were into. You know what I mean? And you know, going back to that ancient state of mind, these things can't be overlooked either. Mm-hmm. So yeah, what they doing today, trying to keep the truth secret, but hide it in your face in plain sight, it's like back to the point of those who have eyes to see can see, and those who have ears to hear will hear. But if you don't, you don't. And it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you do, you do. And it's just like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely have a veneration for that. So yeah, if you see anything or when you see it, definitely, you know what I mean. Take a snapshot, take a picture, whatever, and you know what I'm saying. Let's see how the outcome of that is. Give us a new book, a new documentary,
Right.
whatever, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Straight up.
shout out to all the men out there. Yeah, for sure, no doubt. Is there anything specific you want, us to know about this store? Like, who else is featured on the card or hosting it, or anything of significance that we should know, or you want us to know, or just we should just tune in when it's going down.
Yeah, yeah.
2
Just
p.m.
yeah. Just tune in. Like I said, once we got Wi-Fi at the spot, we'll be live, and it's really just to continue giving Drew Ali his credit. You know, figured to start the tour off with the first principle and just going through the literature and making connections to that love message that Noble Drew Ali had put out to the Moors. And this is sort of more like a Drew Ali tour than a Kudro tour. Getting his word out um, to those who in whatever jurisdiction that they domicile, that have gone to the different Moorish institutions where they're at and realize that what they're looking for wasn't there. That's actually how this came about too, because Moors out here have been to the temples out here, and it wasn't vibing where they were at. The frequency that was at the temple wasn't what they were looking for. So they made it happen to have me out here. And there's a couple more from out of town, more's near Virginia, more's near um, Dallas, and then whoever's here locally are gonna be present. So it should be a good time. It should be a good time. And again, it's really for the acknowledgement, the recognition, the props, to Noble Drew Ali for still being around, still being relative, 100+ years later. His name's still ringing bells out here. So we give honors to the Prophet for everything that he presented. But on Saturday we're going to be dealing with that love message of Drew Ali, and how that ties in to us just being ourselves, being unified, being in harmony with each other, so that we could carry on the legacy that he laid down. But yeah, there'll be a lot more on the day of, because again, the Moors out here, they made it happen. So the next stops are going to be Virginia, Atlanta, Springfield, Massachusetts. Um, we're looking at probably Philly, looking at probably North Carolina, and wherever else Moors could make it happen. We got 12 months to make it happen. One spot a month is what I'm trying to do, and just get that word out of the Prophet to wherever it is. Especially since they lifted their traveling stuff and all that. Um, might as well take advantage while they lifted the stuff. Might as well take advantage.
No doubt about
Yeah,
it.
it's been a 3-year lockdown, so Might as well take advantage of this thing, you know. And even that too, there wasn't even too many masked up people and all that stuff. There wasn't any panic. Everything was running smooth. There was no issues as far as the last 3 years of madness going on and stuff getting back now. I even think that it might be just like how they talk about the hospitals are overrun and all this stuff. It might not be like that, at the airports and whatever the case is, because it was rather smooth. It was rather smooth for for coming out of what they were just in, and then just watching the little broadcast that they have, and they're talking about oh my gosh, lines, and you know people lost their bags, and we got 2,000 bags sitting here nobody didn't claim. Stuff was rather smooth. It was rather smooth. I mean, mind you, my flight was early, so it could have been that, because my flight was early. I might have beat the rush, but it wasn't anything like you hear them talking what's going on out there. Even after the fact, now that there's no, testing, no certain things, there was no announcements with please put your mask on and all this. Nothing. It's almost like nothing happened in the past 3 years. It was almost like nothing happened. They just erased 3 years of history just because they can.
Yeah, but it's still floating out there, and I'm gonna say this. One of the things that this whole masking thing I learned from it, besides the definition of person means mask and whatnot, is I'm gonna probably keep a mask with me forever now. And I didn't even notice this until the pandemic. And I'm not saying I'm going to wear it all the time. I'm just saying I'm going to keep one with me. And the reason why is this. Yo, like wearing a mask, whatnot, you know what I mean? People got their reasons for it. It could be, they don't want to catch COVID, whatever it is. What I've realized during this whole mask on, mask off thing is like, if you travel and you ever stop at a rest stop on the highways and byways, especially the highways, those bathrooms, bro. Like I was on my whole, I'm not wearing the mask, get the mask at home, and I walked into a public bathroom on the highway.
It's a good thing.
And I said, oh my gosh, I wish I had my mask. Why wasn't I ever wearing a mask all these years in this nasty ass bathroom? Like, cause it's a certain smell that just smacks you as soon as you walk in. You be like, damn, should have had a mask on. All that shit. So what I'm saying is, for those purposes, keep a mask in your back pocket. You know what I mean? When you out there traveling. Yeah, I'm not saying wear it all the time, but yeah, I'm just saying, I'm keeping one with me for that, because I ain't really even realized till this whole mask on, mask off shit. I'm like, damn, these public bathrooms smell the same way, and they all smell the same. And I'm talking about highways and byways, not your local store. But yeah, keep one with you. I'm saying, while you travel. And then, it's crazy now, because somebody coughs by you now and all that, you be like, well, why are they coughing? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they okay? Like, you know what I mean?
No, don't even start, because I was sitting next to a dude that was sniffling the whole time. Made me pull up my shit. I'm taking no chances.
Lord, what is it? It's like, I don't want to breathe this shit.
No chances. No chances.
Bad, yeah, real talk. So yeah. Shout out to the mask. It's necessary in some instances.
Yeah, dude was sniffling for 3 hours, bro. 3 hours. I think it was the air though. I think they had the air on in the plane or something. So and it was just dry. Like it wasn't even like his nose was running or something. He was just sniffling. I don't know if he was a cokehead or something like that, but he was just sniffling, the whole time. I was like, you know what? In case this guy is trying to pass on something to me, let me just cover my shit, put my hood on, and don't face this guy's direction. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? It be like that. You're like, come on, man. If you was that sick, even if it wasn't COVID or nothing like that,
Yeah.
like just chill out. You know what I mean? Stay home. You know what I mean? I mean, even before that, that's what you were supposed to do. Like, if you got sick, just stay out the way. Like, because everybody else ain't trying to be sick. It doesn't matter if it's, pandemic related or the common cold, whatever it is. Like, it's just like, all right, that's the common courtesy. You just don't get other people sick. You know what I mean? That's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, man. So yeah, there's been a lot, to move forward with from that whole experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, yeah, I don't know, but for sure, man, definitely stay safe with that. And I just, you know what I mean, when you do come to that side, to the east side, I'll definitely be at wherever, Philly, Boston, VA,
Oh yeah.
Jersey,
Yeah, for
whatever.
sure.
You know what I'm
For sure.
saying? Yeah, definitely. For sure, bro. So yeah, man. But yeah, man. Like I think it's dope as well that you're doing the tour on the first principle. I think that's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Because all the principles are connected. We can sit here and, of course, people are going to get the truth. All the principles are connected, but like we could try to drill the truth home in people's heads and all that. But I think one of the most unifying factors out of all of the five principles probably is the love.
Yeah.
Right? Because people know the truth. Like you could talk about the truth, and some people they don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept it. There's many, things that trigger people when it comes to the truth. Right? But the love, I think that's probably the most unifying factor out of the five principles, right? Because that takes tolerance, you know what I'm saying? So to start it off on the first principle more, I think that's dope, and you keep it there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On all five, but you know what I mean? Yeah, highlight that,
For sure.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Drew Ali probably witnessed the same hysteria in 1918 flu. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, when you
Yeah.
check all the archival footage of the 1918 flu, it pretty much looks like 3 years ago. As far as the imagery of it, like it looks exactly like the Spanish flu. Exactly. You know, didn't even know that people had masks back then and all that.
Yeah.
You know.
Same thing. It was like a reset, bro.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
in regards of what they say, history repeats itself.
Repeats itself. Yeah.
If we was living through the same thing,
yeah.
If we experience, right, similar circumstances of society, of the world, of pandemic, the same type of things. I don't know if everything was there. I don't know if I don't think the technology was back then what it is now. But just the state and condition of the world, like everything the same as far as when Noble Drew Ali was here, right? Like he experienced it too, right? The pandemic, doing what he had to do through all of that.
Yeah.
And having to, emphasize the importance of nationality. I would say that his message, as relevant as it was back then, it definitely is now in these days and times as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, we got to be into idolatry. I'm just saying we got to give props where it's due. And if his message was that accurate 100 years ago in the same sort of conditions of society, right, then we have to take a look at it now. At least give it its, proper respect. Like, it's not like it can't relate to these days and times.
Right. Yeah, and
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like.
Yeah, no. When you check it, he more relates to these times than back then. When you really check it, like I think what he presented really applies more now with this mass zombie land thing going on than it applied back then. Because if he was before his time, then he definitely wasn't for those people back then.
Yeah. So we talking about somebody who definitely was aware of the times or conditions that we are in right now, or some people say we coming out of. I mean, a lot of stuff already changed. Like, you know what I mean? The transition is here. Some things didn't. I don't know. But, his message intentionally speaking to, people from a universal philosophy. That's what he said. And showed it proved. And a humanity aspect. Imagine, humanity back then experiencing the same thing that was just experienced 2 years ago today. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, definitely more. So, yeah, for sure. I mean, it sounds like that's something that families could unify around. The love message of Noble Drew Ali. That sounds like tolerance. That sounds like a lot of good things to build, with those you come in contact with in your travels and journeys. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, yeah, I'll definitely be tuned in Saturday 3 for sure. Yeah, anything else you want to add on to, your current situation? I know we have a caller with their hand up from the beginning, and, I don't know if you want to get into callers already. We got hour and 10 in. We can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, we could in case they their hands get tired and they leave, we could get them in there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So caller 218-673. I see you had your hand up since the very beginning. Peace, fam. Are you there?
Islam, boy. Islam, bro, you done L, northwest of Mexico. Islam is Islam. Oh, man, I tell you, you can't make this stuff up. There's no accidents or coincidences. It is amazing. Happy trailblazing to you, my brother. Perfect timing on a perfect day, doing a perfect thing. I love it. Before I comment though, and the reason my hand went up is because it sparked so much in me, and I realized that I was out in Texas when my eyes was wide closed. And I tried to picture stuff, and all I saw was blackness. You know what I'm saying? And I know that geography and directional fortitude and those things of that educational level nature, they had not been part of things that I was nourished with so lands and places and directions and, you know, the spaces where, I mean, it all just eludes me from way back. And, but again, before I get started, what I would like to know is there a way that we can, you know, share some contribution to help assist on, you know, the expenses of your trip? Because it's for all of us. So if you can drop that, that would be nice at this point.
Yeah, I'll put the PayPal in the chat, and if more have any donations, yeah, sure, they could send it on through.
All right, I'm on the phone though. I'm not on the computer.
Oh, all right, you got PayPal access?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So it's Canaanland Guide at gmail.com is the PayPal. Canaanland.
Beautiful.
GUIDE at gmail.com.
Beautiful. Yeah, because I mean, one thing for sure, we know, you know, things are gonna cost, and if we can't be there, we want to be there.
Right.
So that's, you know, that's my part of the love too. Okay. So I thank you for that. So as I said though, I wanted to say happy trailblazing to you because it was so significant with the way Miss had opened up on the Cowboys and stuff. So, you know, that was kind of funny and a thought that came to me. And as I say, I was out that way a while back, and, you know, it never even occurred to me at that point in time that Texas was part of Mexico and all that stuff. And while y'all were talking, I was just wondering if you anywhere near the border, and what's up with this imaginary border, and where they want to make a rail wall and all that, which again, when you talked about the population, I said, wow, yeah, the hidden truth right before your eyes. If you don't go there physically, you will never know, right? You know, on a little slight tangent though, it also made me think about when you talked about the Spanish flu a little while ago. It made me think about this musician that I ran into a while back, who happened to be Filipino. He played many different types of instruments that many of us didn't know were instruments. But he was mentioning in his songs and in his lyrics, he always talked about the fact that what they called the Spanish-American War was really a war against the Filipinos, and it's what they call 7 years, been going on for ages. And the connection to that, you know, I had always wanted to travel into that arena to see what that was really all about, but I never got to that. On a further note, though, what sparked my memory is that when I first began the journey into my eyes becoming open, one of the first temples I went to during Noble Jew Ali Day week celebration, there was an elder there who was from Texas and was testifying about how they owned their property, and these I don't know how to refer to them, modern Europeans, whatever you want to call them, who had just come over. They were the vagabonds and the beggars and the hungry people who would knock on their doors and were treated, with love, fed, and allowed to have, whatever. And she was explaining that there was no history as we've been taught of, any type of enslavement back then. And this was like what wow, time has been flying. I think this was when I first walked into the journey. It was about 2005 or later, and maybe 2 years before I reached the Morris Heritage and History School, while making my journey into, the Eyes Wide Open journey. But she was about 99 at that time when she testified about, what was taking place in Texas. So, including landmarks, even if you get a chance to chat to some of the people and see who's owning what, basically that would be, nice to know. And also considering the history of CMB's mathematics in terms of what you call it, what is it, the Hill of the Sun? I can't think of the name of it right this minute. But in terms of the landmark and the construction and the earthly, naturally made constructions, I'm sure you should see a lot of mountains and things out there that are pretty telling, and things that'll be calling to you, because that's part of the spiritual guidance that we do get. And I can recall even reading information that appeared to be mythical, but we're talking about places that you couldn't even see to know they were there, more or less, get to unless you knew the proper route in the first place.
Right.
And so I know there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff out there, and I don't know how much real time you're going to be able to put into anything that I just mentioned in terms of the area, but like I said, the spirit will lead and guide you, and I just appreciate the fact of knowing that you're there, that you're doing it, that it's not an accident, that you've been so guided, and there's a lot of information in between. Like I said, my first step on the journey of opening my eyes, or having my eyes open, between then and now, I know if I go there now, it's gonna be like, damn, I never been there before, because I'm in so much. And it's a big difference when you look with your eyes open.
Yeah.
And so that's terrific. And then laying out the idea of the connection between the Alaska, Canada, Texas, which is really Mexico, split down the middle, and realizing that I just was doing some study on some of the things that were happening in Alaska in terms of the registered tribes and the so-called self-determination move, where they're talking about thousands of acres of land that the so-called chiefs and small communities of quote-unquote Indians are supposed to be giving down permission while they only, the various companies and tribes are only dealing with maybe 25 acres, where the overall is really in the hands of companies that are getting permission to, mine and whatever they want to do with, in terms of raping the resources on the thousands of acres. So, we know we're in this type of thing that we're coming out of that is so significant to today's time, that and the way things just connect it's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's timely. It's amazing. I give thanks for you taking my call, Southerners, and man, again, happy trailblazing to you, Grand Sheik.
Peace more.
Again, I'm with you, even though I'm not there in flesh.
Islam.
I'm with you. My heart is with you.
Appreciate you more. Islam. And then on a note too that you were talking about, some of the Moors near New Brunswick, you got Brother Negum's on there too in the chat. He can speak to that thing with the chiefs, because they're dealing with that right now. That the people who are claiming, or who got the position or stole the position or whatever as chief, are really selling it out on levels that you can't even imagine how they're selling it out. When you talk about these corporations having this land to go mine and dig and do whatever else that they're doing without one, compensating the indigenous people, and not only not compensating them, but not getting their permission to do anything. But you have these chiefs who, the chiefs who are taking the power of attorney idea, right, and saying that, well, as the chief, I'm gonna do this and that, when that didn't even come from the people for them to make certain decisions. So it's going on everywhere, not just out there in near Alaska, but even out on the east to New Brunswick. And if we go out to the west, it's going to be the same thing with these chiefs who are just giving up the goods. You know what I mean? And it's not like they're giving up the goods to the people. They're giving it up to the colonial powers. And then the colonial powers are taking that authority that they got from these chiefs, and then they're assuming jurisdiction over the whole territory, and putting the people in very wrong predicaments and situations. Moore just said even in Hawaii, the chiefs there as well. So it's this thing of putting the trust in ones who aren't trustworthy, and then after they exercise their untrustworthiness, now we're complaining about something when they shouldn't have had the authority in the first place. The people should have had the litmus test for these people's sincerity and righteousness, and shut them down before they even got in those seats. But here's where we are, so we sort of just got to deal with it. But I yield.
Yes, Islam, and just a little bit to build on top of that, because I was just looking at the record of, under the guise of self-determination committee, just alone on its face, you have 7, how you say, U.S. representatives, U.S. office holder representatives versus 6 quote-unquote native representatives that make up the committee.
Mm.
And this is the same committee that gives the U.S. about 35,000 acres to the chiefs. Did I say 25? Really, maybe even less than 25.
Yeah.
And they might have to split what they're given. And they might be able to have casinos there. But this is supposed to be a self-determination move.
Right.
So, it's just that incredible. And of course, yeah, it's only a sample of what's taking place on our land.
Yeah.
And what we supposed to be accepting. And then they wonder, why we don't consider ourselves in need of registering with you.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a rough situation, but yeah. Again, happy trailblazers though. Islam, my bad.
Islam. Islam, is he muted?
Yeah, Miz, you there? Yeah, and much love out to the family, the participants, everybody on the call as well.
Peace.
Yes. Is he back in? Army.
All good,
Yeah, I
man.
am. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Facts, indeed. So yeah, definitely. With that being said, I know you got a lot to tend to while you out there. Is there anything you want to say in closing, Cujo? Like, I know, because I know you got to get in your zone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold you up all night.
Yeah, no, we're good, more. No, I'm all right. Everything pretty much was said. Really, just plug in Saturday, and wanted to make sure we get on here so that because this is a first Sons of Allah, simultaneously on Canaanland Moors, simultaneously near Houston, simultaneously on MHH's
Yeah.
Blog Talk. So we had to just make this happen just because it's our first time.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure, bro. And I know something great is gonna come up, and you know what I mean. We can't wait for the recap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, bro. I wish you much peace and protection on the path, and abundance and fun and just experiences, bro, that you'll remember forever and can share with us when it's done. And we're gonna tune in 3 p.m. on Saturday, right? This Saturday.
Yep, 3 p.m. this Saturday.
And yeah, for sure. And we're gonna catch up with an update there. And we'll be looking forward to that more. I'm not gonna hold you up because I know it's a whole zone to vibe to. So you know what I mean, bro? Like, do your thing.
You already know.
Islam. And yeah, shout out to the chat, everybody, for tuning in. And we will be back next week as well on MHHS Eyes Wide Open Blog Talk on Tuesday, and then RV Bay Go to Class on Wednesday. You can link up and tune into that if you check out RV Bay Publications website. And that's next week. But in this moment, what we're looking forward to
is Saturday, January 21st, 2023, 3 p.m. Also, in Texas, Houston, Texas, French Quarter Cajun Seafood, and the live stream Canaanland Moore's YouTube page. And it's like, yo, that's a beautiful thing. You got it back, bro.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Shout out to the YouTube snitches for snitching, because we're back now. So we'll see what they could snitch on now. But we're sort of gonna change up how we're dealing with certain people. You know, we're not gonna be playing their stuff anymore and all that. We're just gonna put them out there without using their stuff, so they don't have a reason to snitch. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do. But we're back. Canaanland Moore's won. We're back again. There's no strikes right now. All the strikes have been expunged. So we're at zero strikes right now. That's the reason why we weren't doing anything. We just shut it down for the month. What was it? I think it was I think there was one strike. Yeah, so about 3 months. But it was 3 strikes, and then every strike is a month suspension or whatever, where you can't upload or whatever. So even when the strikes got lifted, we just kept not being on it, just so we can get all those strikes off. And I think the last strike was December 31st. So this is how we're back right now. But honors to you, Ms. Give thanks again. Honors to the mothers for the platform. MHHS, Eyes Wide Open. Honors to RV Bay Publications, khalifamedia.com, and all the other Moors out there who are doing their part in uplifting fallen humanity. I yield the floor. Islam.
Yo, bro, but there was a beautiful closeout, but I gotta ask you this before we go. And I know in certain spectrums this is like maybe minute, but knowing this story and where it led up to, just real quick, because I haven't really been on social media like that, especially over the past week or two. I'll just check here and there. And the other day I seen you had on the gram, Kyrie with, Moorish typed over the Nikes. Is that like, that's official? That's
Yeah, it was official. Yeah, it was official. But he also had black in there too. So it was like,
right in all caps.
Yeah, he had black in there too. So
yeah, black was in all caps.
Yeah,
I peeped that. I was like, oh, back. Yeah. But we already know. I just, like, nah, I had to ask if I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. But I'm just saying, I had to ask because I seen that and I haven't been on there, and I see it's a lot of same thing. All right, cool. I was like, oh, word.
We'll see how far it goes. We'll see how far it goes, because as soon as you post a link, they want to shut you down and suspend you and fine you and all this stuff. So he's probably just being mindful, Probably just being mindful.
Yeah.
Throw the little black in there. Don't let people feel too funny, with him putting Moorish on his shoes and all that. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt, more. All right, definitely. We're going to look into that. And in the meantime, man, enjoy yourself, bro. Safe travels. And we'll be in tune for sure. All right, fam. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Islam.
Yeah, shout out to all the Moors in the chat, for sure. All right, fam. No doubt. Oh, shout out to Yusuf, too. Yeah, because he be sending me the invite, and I always miss him. Yeah, but shout out to the brother. I'm going to catch one of them.
For real.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to catch one of them with him. Just keep sending them, bro. I got you. Indeed. All right, so with that, we're going to say peace and love and truth, freedom and justice. You know, all the 5 principles, part in no particular order there.
You know they're about to. You know they're about to tell you. You don't know the principles.
Yeah, I know. But I was, you know, first thing I would say was peace, but I had to add on. So for y'all who gonna nitpick me, okay, is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All right, we good. We good. Peace, man. Love y'all. All right. Once we find our nationality, and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done. You think in the games you already know these kill you on camera, leave you dead in the street. You still have fucked and bloody, but no 911 call. My standard reflecting full of facts, so watching with y'all. I'm rolling you, watching my people holding up shoppers of innocent people. My people need to get the action, marching and kicking in this most cowardice and multiply. While dead bodies just multiply. Sisters killed in themselves, claim to tell you raped and burned on the whole community in our one police station. They love fuck shop, but I see no police bacon. And when it comes to revolution, most of y'all are faking. All understand, they are nationality. Because you have the stupid word. Black lives don't matter, but you still claim black. Rather feel someone get choked out, but won't show back. And the one that uploads first face charges Trump's up. But what do you think will happen when President Trump's up? More killing and murders of stateless birds. Put the concentration camps now, ghettos are burned. Gun stores short on ammo. They're melting down church cells. Black seek shelter in temples where God doesn't dwell. That's why I'm falling. I can walk in and shoot up the service. Praying the invisible guard give you the searches. Pray to relinquish. That's none of my business. I suggest you nationalize with wickedness. I suggest you study law, stop with the beginning of faith. I see them straight as pepperish liquid. The foreign white look on your face. I thought that look was the devil. My weapons strong, the noise level. Boys, you rebel. You have just the stupid word that Negro because the black. The point that I'm making, blacks are mistaken. Call them highwaymen, not crack or pick or bacon. Taking your tax dollars and riot gear, they relaxing. Cause in a black status, don't even think about a class action. Don't even think about rights being respected without getting injected. I see you infected. They're the same ones that violate the laws you re-elected. Your vote matters more than black lives feel disrespected. Control the Negroes, look tested and perfected. That's why about being black, I'm skeptic and lefty. My people are tripping, walking with arms like cancers who got nowhere in the 60s, so that's not the answer. And black need a race war instigator puppet. Teach kill those who killed us as justice. But have they ever shown that they not? If they did it, they nobody to show. Yellow envelope, money in escrow. Accounts overseas, not in democracies, living hypocrisy. It's all the sure mockery, bureaucracy, not hearing, but most can't hear it. It's only the attitude, the regalia is not clan spirit. Until my people wake up, your struggle for rights continue. And your children August end up on your menu. You love sex, but believe the message is more sexy with no status. You're in the jurisdiction and venue of the same beat system you attempt to defeat. Only as more will you get them on the heels of the same beat system you attempt to defeat. Only as more will you get them on the heels of your feet. The name of the people must relate them in container. The land is result. Anytime you call the people by the right name, anytime you call the people, name of people, and fail to relate them but land is result, you are calling out of their name. There's no black man or black woman. There's nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only to relate your country. The name of every people in the world relate to the country. And once you think instantaneous your land, you think of nationality.